This is the Bill Squire Show.
Congratulations.
Welcome to the Bill Squire Show. I'm Bill Squire. Tommy.
Hi.
Tommy the Cream Pie Master, LC.
I can't wait.
When are you? Oh, and Pants.
Oh, so
Also pants.
hey everybody.
when are you allowed to begin production?
I technically could right now. No, honestly, pregnancy-wise.
No, you couldn't. Not right now.
Well, not.
We
this,
have to podcast
yes, not
first,
right
Tommy.
now. I could. Like, there was no restrictions.
That's
no
okay.
lifting restrictions, anything like that, other than like for the incisions themselves. But no, like I was just like a lot of pressure in my body for a while, so it didn't really feel like having sex. But I could have.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Bill Squire Show, 33% more sterile.
What about you guys? When are you gonna do it? You can go 100%.
Oh, speaking of sterility
Yeah.
and procedures, I booked my shit an hour into my Disney World trip.
Are you serious?
I'm not. I'm not serious, but I was like, I was gonna get it anyways,
Yeah.
and then by the second, just wailing child, I was like, "We're getting this done immediately."
Yeah, Brandon's gonna get it on the books too, eventually. But no, you're fine.
Pants is always so dark over there. That helps.
I'm just
That helps.
I no, it's something I think that's overdue anyways, because I was on the.
I be fucking.
Well, sometimes
Is it covered by your insurance, or do you have to go out of pocket?
I would think so, because I actually have pretty good insurance, but if
Yeah.
not, it's not that expensive of a procedure.
Mm-hmm. I might
and
look
it sounds
into it.
far cheaper than 18 years of
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
subsidizing a child.
I was gonna say I have Tyler works with me, and so he's on the same insurance, and he said that his is gonna be covered fully. He's getting it done on I think your birthday, and then what was I gonna say? Oh, mine was like mostly covered. I still have to pay some, but that's just I'm gonna pay it in installments and stuff. So look into it.
I will. I know a guy.
I know. a guy.
You getting one of those Groupon deals?
Well, no, we have
Bogo?
Dr. Berglund on the show, and he
That's
does
right.
that.
Okay.
And
Oh,
so,
that's his wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what he does.
He has a nice voice.
He does have a nice voice. Everybody thinks he's black because he's got like this booming, deep voice,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
and then
wouldn't
he's
know.
like he's just like a sweet. He honestly looks like he'd be related to Shane Gillis.
Still has huge cock though.
Yeah.
Huge cock. Nonetheless.
Exactly. He told me about the biggest dick he ever saw.
How big? I mean, you have to measure it if it's the biggest one ever, right?
He didn't. Well, because it wasn't even hard. It was just like a guy.
Hanging.
Yeah, it was just hanging. And he said it's like this skinny little black dude, and he just had a fucking like down to his knee type of dick.
Like uncomfortably, like you almost feel bad.
Like can't even get all the way hard because he'll like
pass out.
He'll pass out. Yeah, like
That sounds painful.
So like literally, like what, it hung like down halfway to his knees, or were we talking like?
I think it probably I'm guessing a 10 or 12 incher, like that kind of thing.
Oh, so okay, pant size, no big deal.
Okay.
10 or 12 inches, hard guys, hard. Oh. That's fucking wild.
Tell us about Disney.
I'm
so stupid, by the way, because you're like intentionally tagging the wrong places, and I'm like, you tagged Busch Gardens. I'm like, dude, you're not at Busch Gardens.
And then by the third frame, where it's like the AVN
And
Awards
so I'm like,
in
okay,
Vegas.
now I get it. Yeah.
The dumbest, just of course, because I can't just share a wholesome moment. I have to make it stupid as shit.
Mm-hmm.
It was loved being with my family.
So you're down there with your
my
whole family.
My mom and my dad wanted to get like one big family vacation together, so they fucking footed the bill to fly our asses down. Me, my brother, my sister-in-law, my kids down to Disney World.
Your kids.
Your kids.
My kids, my nephews. That's how long I was down there. I was down there as it felt like my 5 and 8 year old nephew. So of course, going in, you go down there knowing you're there because you watch your nephews flip out and have a great time and stuff. And so I was like, I knew it wasn't going to be like relaxation, Zen garden for me shit. I'm swear to God, like I was an hour into this thing and I had turned into the pissiest, wokest, anti-capitalist person you've ever seen. And I'm not like, I participate in capitalism. I thought it was awesome until I went down there, and strip clubs are not as aggressive as Disney World is with parting grown men with their fucking money.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Everything is crazy expensive. Like, give us an example of something that was just like super. Because I haven't been to Disney since I was a little kid.
Here's how Mickey Mouse whips his dick out and makes you touch it immediately on your knees. Is like you walk into
Wait,
like
what?
the Magic
I want to
Kingdom.
go.
No, you don't. I mean, like, especially if you don't have kids or plan on having them. Like, unless you're a Disney adult, like, I went there and it's like the whole situation. Yes, it's cool to go there. It's like an American institution, whatever. So, Magic Kingdom, we go there because it's like this iconic thing. Fucking big ass castle.
Yeah.
Goofy's walking around. Fucking a cappella barbershop quartet bands are singing, whatever. So then, like, an hour
Which
or
is
two
all
in-
like nostalgic Disney stuff, but it all kind of sucks. Like, that part of Disney is kind of lame.
It's the part where you realize immediately they're like, okay, you kind of have to go to this to say you saw it because
Yeah.
I think that was the original.
Yeah, that was the original park, yeah.
And then so like me and my dad are walking around and we're getting bumped into every 4 feet by somebody because everyone behaves 100% times worse than they do at the airport there. Just
No
I
one
didn't hear
paying
the words-
attention, tons of people. yeah.
and like grown adults,
Yeah.
not like little kids, whatever. And so like, like I go, I got to get a beer for me and my dad or something. Like I was like, because I just need to take the edge off. You can't. So like,
What?
so
I thought that was like what Disney adults always brag about is that you can drink in the park.
you can drink in Epcot, which is a separate park, which you have to, whatever deal you sign up for when you go to stay at Disney for, let's say 3 days, you can pick a park a day to go to.
Okay.
So one day we went to Magic Kingdom, right? The next day we went to what was called Hollywood Studios, I think, where
Yeah.
the Star Wars stuff was at. And then the third day we went to Epcot, which is, they're like, Disney World was like, okay, adults, since you somehow didn't kill yourself, we're going to give you this. You can go to Epcot, you can drink out in the street, go to these different countries, and you could live like an adult. But Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios are quote unquote dry parks where if you want to
that
drink
sucks.
alcohol, you have to make reservations for their sit down restaurants.
Okay.
And if you wait till the day of your trip to try to make a reservation for any of those restaurants,
You're out of
fuck
luck.
right off.
Yeah.
So it was like, which to me, I hadn't drank all month anyways. So I'm like,
Whatever.
yeah, like, okay, I'll drink Dasani. It's not like there's babes
Ugh.
everywhere at Disney.
I'd rather drink the Dasani. Yuck.
Trust me, dude. Like I was like, this is where we're at, man. We're just drinking Dasani for $7 a bottle or whatever. Actually, no, I will say Dasani $4 a bottle, which felt like the best deal you could get at Disney World.
A
But
deal
like,
on water?
yeah. Well, I mean, they also had drinking fountains at Disney World, which blew my mind because that was the only thing they gave away for free there. Was
I think
water.
they are legally obligated to have that because people will get they'll pass
I mean,
out.
I know it's a liability
100
thing.
degrees in Florida.
But it'd be
every
so
day.
aggressive in how they fucking come at you to spend money there.
Yeah.
I was amazed. I was like, if they could find a way around
Yeah.
giving you free water, they would.
Yeah.
So like, and I'm like, literally, like, I knew the deal going in. I knew I wasn't like, I was probably going to be the only single childless man in
the
a
park,
10-mile
yeah.
radius. So it's like, okay, I don't really want to drink because then it's like, I'm going to have like a headache by 3 p.m. because it was 80 degrees out.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. That was great. But man, I just felt myself turning into like, just everywhere I went, I was trying the immediate instinct. I was like, of course you've got to pay $45 for an upgrade to move up in the virtual queue to wait. Now you're waiting 5 hours to get on the Guardians of the Galaxy ride and not 8 hours or something. And it's just, I felt like, I'll start with the good stuff. Epcot was amazing because
Yeah.
you could drink, you could actually go get food. You didn't have to make weird reservations. It was the most Cedar Point-ish experience you could have.
Got it.
And since everyone could like drink, the vibes were way better.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
But
kind of important.
like the Star Wars world and like everything else, it's just you're amongst, no one's having fun. You're amongst a sea of just exhausted and depressed parents that like are holding 17 backpacks and 32 life-size like Stitch stuffed Lilo and Stitch things.
Stuffed
And
animals,
it's just
yeah.
like you just see them go, Tanner, can you please, if you would please just behave for 1, 2, Tanner, and it's like that. It's a sea of that. And then I went to go, at the end of the day, I just went back to like where we were staying, and there was like a restaurant I could actually get food at within an hour. And I'm sitting there alone, and I felt like every man's eyes on me because half of them were just like, what are you doing here?
Yeah. And the other half are like, I
you
wish
make
I
this
was
decision?
you.
The other half is like, please tell me how your day went. Like, but no, other than that, it was sick.
Yeah. Are there any actual like good rides, like the Guardians of the Galaxy ride? Like, what is it? Like,
I wish I could tell you,
you
bud.
don't even get to go on it.
So like
'cause
we
the
figured
lines are so
out,
long?
we figured out early on, you have to like either pay for the fast pass and get like jump the line on rides, and even then you're still waiting like an hour or so, or you get in what's called the virtual queue. So every day Disney World, and everything is ran through the app, by the way, like everything. So like, yeah, everyone kept telling me like, if you go on one ride, go on this Guardians of the Galaxy ride, and it's in Epcot. So I'm like, cool. So they open up the virtual queue every day at 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. So I literally have my phone open at 12:59 p.m.
Yeah, ready to go.
Queue opens, and I jump in line. And like, so this next part didn't shock me crazily because I also just walked into the park around noon. So it just said, hey, great, you're in line. We'll see you in 340 minutes. That was literally the amount of time they told me to wait. And I was like, kind of like, I did the math. I go, cool. I go, I'll be here all day. Like, come 5:40 p.m. or whatever, I'll be there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you read the fine print from the notification. It says, your virtual queue spot does not guarantee you to get on the ride, And I was like, oh, okay, here's how they get you. So then, my sister-in-law gets her and the kids on the ride, and I'm like basically got a spot for me and my brother on the ride because the app's wonky, So come me, my sister-in-law, my brother, are having some White Claws all day, and we're drinking, and the kids are having fun, and we're like just sort of bopping around the parks. So 5:15 rolls around, so I start checking my app, and then it's like just a comedy, right? So then like I check the app, I go to like the virtual queue, it says like, we're really looking forward to seeing you at 8:35 p.m. tonight. And then at this point I just go, I don't care how sick this ride is.
We're not going to be able to go on it. Yeah.
I go, because I'm going to come back at 8:35 p.m.
And they'd be like, hey.
And they're like, we're sorry, we can't get you on. Yeah, we can't get you on. So what I feel, my conspiracy theory about Disney World is they hedge their bet that you're going to go down there and you're not going to really have done your homework. So you're going to have just a very confusing, stressful time, and you're going to miss a bunch of shit. And what they're going to say is you're leaving with your tiny kids and be like, I guess you got to bring your kids back down here next time, and you'll know exactly what to do.
Right. Well, I think this is why like the Disney adults thrive in this, because they don't have to worry about kids, and they go there so often that they know the procedures. So like,
100%.
They know exactly how to do everything. They spring for the fast pass. They are doing everything. So that's why it's so enjoyable for them.
I mean, also they'd have the time to actually do the research. They don't have kids, and it's like one of my buddies.
I do like that they get mad when people call them Disney adults, though.
I mean, then be something else.
Yeah.
I don't have straight up. I never had a problem with Disney adults, and I still don't, because I'm into some stupid shit myself as an adult. Like whatever, we all have our thing. Pro wrestling.
Well, like the video I saw is, if you like football, you're not called a football adult. If you like wrestling, you're not called a wrestling adult. But if you're Disney, you like Disney, you're a Disney adult. I'm like, well, yeah. Because
okay, let's run down the checklist.
Yeah.
Are you an adult?
Yeah.
Do you like Disney?
What are those things like marketed towards? The only one that Disney's the only one marketed towards kids.
Exactly.
You're not a Warner Brothers adult.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not a Hanna-Barbera adult.
Yeah,
Right.
you're a
Like
Disney
own
adult.
it. Like it's like
fine.
So wrestling fans, real hardcore wrestling fans are called marks.
And they're also not adults. Even if they're grown-ups.
Mentally,
they are not adults.
Yeah, but like, so I have a friend of mine who lives out in LA, and he's a Disney adult. Like, he's been literally to Disneyland, I think, over 200 times or something.
Who are you talking about?
Mark Bricky.
Oh, never mind.
Sorry. I mean, he's a hardcore adjacent guy.
Okay.
But yeah, he runs a podcast called Adventures in Design. Anyways, he took me out to Disneyland a few years ago, and I kind of knew the vibe of Disneyland. I didn't have the vibe of how deep he dives on every square inch of Disneyland, because we couldn't walk 5 feet without him stopping me and going, okay, do you see this drinking fountain right here? I go, yes. He goes, do you see
First integrated drinking fountain at Disney.
Black people were allowed to start drinking this. But he's like, do you see the brickwork above it? I go, yes. And then he would go into this Wikipedia-length discussion about why the brickwork is so ornate and who laid it and what year they laid it. And this was all day long. And I'm not cooking him about it. It just, this was like, this is what they do.
Yeah.
And it also made me feel like I don't think I'm passionate about anything in life because, like,
I get that for sure. Where people, I was at a show last night and people are having this discussion about all the Spider-Man movies and they're comparing them to the comics and all these different things. And I'm looking at my one friend she is just the least nerd person. And I go, Sarah, what do you think about Spider-Man? And she's like, I just don't care. I just like
you're not allowed to not care anymore, though.
No, but that's the thing. Like, and they go so deep, and I like Spider-Man. I jumped in a few times, but they just kept going, and I was like, I can't get this deep on it.
You think you're into something like you and I like Marvel?
Yeah,
like you and I have a pretty expert understanding of stuff.
Yeah. Not even close.
There's people that will blow you. It's like when you think you're good at Madden and then you really play someone in Madden that like has literally been playing Madden every day of their life for decades.
For
and
hours and hours.
Like, oh, I don't like this the way you like this.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
But you're not allowed. We live in a fanatic culture. You're not allowed to kind of sort of like stuff, and you're definitely not allowed to not have an opinion on things.
Well, that's what this podcast is for, to kind of have an opinion and not really like things.
I fucking, you know what? I might just start I kind of hate some shit now.
Oh yeah?
It feels so good.
You like to hate.
Dude, it washes over my heart in like a syrupy, thick way.
What do you hate?
Hey, dude, it was the Disney. Disney, honestly, fucking. I was trying so hard. I have PMA tattooed on my arm, like 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like. Me and my family, like, we joked about it and we had a good time. It wasn't anything to do with them. It just was like, if you have to imagine being at the airport for 3 days.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's,
like, yeah.
This is why, like, the vacations that I like to go on are with not a lot of people, and I don't like to do a lot of stuff. I like to chill out, go, like, and if I'm going to do stuff, I want to do stuff in a very leisurely way. I don't want to have to be there at a certain time and, like I like to just, we do things when we do things and it's going to be fine.
That's my idea of a vacation. Because, I know you have kids, but you're not having to, like, they're not at that age anymore where you have to be.
In their 20s, so now.
And you can go off and you can go sit in an all-in resort at a pool for eight hours whenever you want.
And even when they were little, like when we go places, they just like to run around and feel like they have freedom. That's all they like. They a pool at a hotel was just as fun as going anywhere else. Now we didn't have the money to take them to Disney, but we go to like Cedar Point and stuff like that. And they're not really rides people.
So I'm not trying to hijack your story. I don't know who has money besides LeBron James to take his family to Disney.
It's so expensive.
It's unbelievable, dude. Because you hook your room card to your credit card, and you can basically use your room card to pay for everything in the park: drinks, souvenirs, da da da. I don't know why I'm saying da-da-da all the time. Anyways, I got my receipt by the end of the day, the end of the trip, just when we were checking out for, like, my drinks and maybe the 2 meals a day I paid for to eat. And I just go, yeah, I can't, even if I want to have kids, I can never have kids. I go, this would cost me $82 billion.
Right.
Sorry, but go on.
Expensive. So, yeah, so when I go on a trip, like I'm going out of town in a couple weeks, Hocking Hills, cabin, we'll do some daytime activities and then just chill out and hit the hot tub and just take it easy. Like that's all.
You go hiking when you're down there?
We'll probably do like a little hike, but also I don't want do like a 4-hour hike.
Right, yeah.
I like an hour, 2 hours, that's fine. But some people want to go on like an all-day hike or like all-day kayaking and stuff like that.
If I have
like
to pack a meal,
trip,
I don't want to be hiking.
No,
I'm not that kind of hiker.
Like people will go. I remember going on like a river trip in Mohican, and I was like, "How long is this thing?" And they're like, "Oh, it's 6 hours." And I was like, I don't want to do this.
That's way too many hours.
It's so long. It sucks.
I don't want to come off lazy or unmotivated. I don't want to do anything for 6 hours.
Exactly.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Like,
Besides
I'm like,
sleep.
there's not an hour version we can do. Like, you get And they're like, no, you just got to be out there and having a good time. And it's like, but it's not a good time. And I was also not drinking on that trip, so it was extra boring.
I don't. This to dovetail the water stories. My one nephew barfed every day in the pool. Every
Your
day.
vegan one.
What?
You had to call him vegan when you said that he was barfing.
I
What does that mean?
Because I added that detail because the motherfucker does not eat. Doesn't eat.
Yeah.
Just doesn't. So, and he's like skinny. He's 8 years old. And of course, I was doing the uncle thing where every day, they wanted me to throw him around the pool. So I threw him around the pool. And then the one just hasn't mastered the art of not taking a gulp of water when he goes underwater. So he'd come up and he'd wind up and you just see it. And it was like just pure water the first 2 days because he doesn't eat. It's just so then I do the adult thing and I like grab him by the underarm and I yoink him and we go to the far end of the pool and I like look around. No one caught us. Whatever. There's a lot of chlorine in there, right?
Yeah, right. That's what it's for. I mean, that's.
So like the third night and the final night we're there. It's like nighttime and we'd all been drinking all day and the kids were in the pool again. So I have number one, my brother told me, he goes, oh, you could totally bring your White Claw in the pool. So I bring my White Claw in the pool, 8 fucking lifeguards went, sir. And I look at him, he's laughing at me. I go,
You asshole.
so then I'm throwing.
That's hilarious. Good job.
Yeah, no, it's good. It was a good prank. So I'm chucking Milo around again. And then he does the same thing. And this time, one of the lifeguards watching.
Yeah.
She was like a cuter, younger chick. And she was watching because she had nothing. There was like 6 people in the pool.
Yeah.
So she's like smiling and laughing. And I was like, oh, this is okay. So he barfs. And then he goes to wind up for another one. And I go, there's going to be a meal behind this one. So I like pick him up under his arms and like walk him out of the pool.
Yeah.
And then he like drops, he puts his hands on his knees and unloads an entire vacation's worth of solid food. Like just everywhere.
Into the pool or
at this point it's on the cement.
Okay.
Outside of the pool.
Good.
But in the pool it was like more just water. They still closed the pool down.
Nice.
So me and my brother and my sister-in-law, like being the adults we were, grab the kids and run for the hills to the other pool on the other side of the resort.
Puke in that one before everybody else gets over there.
Well, I just like, what are they going to do? Yell at us?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of like, okay, there's nothing we can do to fix this.
Right.
Yeah, it is what it is.
And then they weren't serving at the bar at that pool, so at that point I just took off.
Yeah.
But that's why I said he was vegan, Tommy.
Because he's puking.
Sorry, you don't like barfing.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't really make sense. But
Thank you.
I think it's funny.
Thank you.
I still think it's funny. I think it doesn't make sense.
We all put up with your lifestyle. I mean, it's like,
Put up with my lifestyle.
I was hoping you would catch that.
What?
we might not understand your godless dietary choices, but whatever.
I'm not here to attack Tommy and her choices.
I like the cute animals that stay alive.
I could listen.
I get squished in cages.
I've been a hardcore guy my whole life. I've been around vegans for
Yeah.
fucking 30 years. I could care less.
I know.
Also, kind of make quite a bit of money off vegans these days. So there's that.
You guys want to see a cool video?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead.
I hope it's Tommy's belly button.
Go ahead and hit play
you
on
can look
this.
at it if you want.
This,
Tell me if
so,
it's open.
Let me give you a little bit of context here. This is from the Super Bowl. Don't hit play yet. Let me explain.
Okay.
So there's all these NFL films, documentaries about the Super Bowl. And like the first Super Bowl was not a big event. There's so many empty seats in the stadium. But by the time the 5th one got around, people were really into it. So this is from the 5th one, and this is how the whole thing starts, is this lady working in a ticket office and this guy trying to get tickets from her, and their interaction with each other is just so wonderful. So I want to spread the legend of Ella Mae.
Hello. I wonder if you have 2 tickets here, please. My name is Mason.
Mason?
Yeah, they were left by Jack Newman.
No, sir.
No, not yet. I'll have to check.
No Mason.
No tickets?
No, sir.
Oh, would you check again? I'm sure they were left here. They were left
No.
by Mr. Newman.
From a team?
Huh?
From a
no,
team?
he's with the office. He's with the league office.
No. I
I'm
don't
sure
have
they
any.
were, because I just talked to him this morning.
I'm sorry. He hasn't come yet.
Could you just look through the box one
I
more
did
time?
look.
Well, could you check again? I'm sure they're here.
I did. I have no Newman.
There's got to be. It must be some mistake. Could you look maybe in the office or somewhere?
They're all out here in this box.
Well, it's impossible. I mean, I came all the way down from New York for the game.
Well, you'll have to wait for the gentleman to leave them, to bring
Well,
them.
he told me he left them already. I already talked to him. I called him from the hotel.
Well, you'll have to call him back.
Oh, this is impossible. I came all the way down here for this game.
I'm sorry, sir.
Well, can I have your name, please? Because there's going to have to be something done about this.
Ella Mae.
I'm sorry?
Ella Mae.
Ella Mae? Now, what's your last name?
Weatherwax.
Miss Weatherwax? Because I'm going to have to check into this. I hope
Mrs.
you realize-
Weatherwax.
Mrs. Weatherwax?
Yes.
All right. This is just inexcusable. I don't know how you can run an office like this.
Well, we do pretty good job.
Okay, Weatherwax. Thank you.
Take a blimp ride.
All right.
So take a blimp ride is like eat my ass, basically.
Yeah.
Also, I thought when you before
LMA?
I thought Ella Mae was the letters LMA.
Same.
No.
Same. I was very
No,
confused.
this is the legend of Ella Mae Weatherwax, Mrs. Weatherwax.
If there ain't a fucking OnlyFans chick that adopts that name,
We got to get it out there. Like
go,
this,
what's it? Go for a blimp ride.
go for a blimp ride.
I love that.
That is such a old timey way
we
of
bring it
saying
back?
go fuck yourself.
yourself.
Yeah.
Go
yeah.
for a blimp ride. Let's start it. Let's bring it back. Let's bring
We're
it back.
back.
Guys. Yeah.
Go
Go
take
for-
a blimp ride.
Go take a blimp ride.
Go take a.
Go Ella Mae. Okay,
kinda
and then she
clunky.
goes. You could tell when he called her by only her last name, he was fed up.
Yeah.
He was full Karen mode.
Oh yeah, this is like
Okay,
a
Weatherwax.
1971 Karen for sure.
And then like I go. At first, I thought the lady was black, but the fact that no N words were exchanged told me she was just
white.
white.
Yeah.
So, because I was waiting for it, I go.
Yeah.
What's he gonna
I don't
say?
feel good about it right now.
yeah, Ella Mae plays it really well though. She's like, these are all the tickets I have.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, sir. If your name's not on the list, you're not getting in.
So that was Super Bowl V.
yeah, that was Super Bowl
Where
V.
was that in?
I believe that was
Baltimore.
no, it wasn't in Baltimore because they were still doing it like on location. So I think it was either Miami or L.A. or something like that.
It sounded southern, but people didn't lose their shit like in the 50s and stuff. Like
Yeah.
even when you were mad, there was still like a decorum.
Well,
Yeah.
like, you had to wait for a
Everything.
response anyways.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like you could text somebody right now and
Right.
like fix this issue. You
Yeah.
had to like go.
Do you think
through
that
a
guy was a
process.
scammer and just trying to like swindle his way in?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mason, come on. Mason wasn't it?
Yeah, and well, like, will you go back? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I can't believe you'd run an office like this.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember which. I think the Super Bowl was the Cowboys and
Jets.
Chiefs or something like that.
There was only like
The Jets were in Super Bowl III because I've been watching these all
the
weekend.
NFL films.
Yeah, dude, they're so good. They're so great, and these games are terrible.
Yep.
Like these athletes were bad. They're all
guys smoking cigarettes
Dude,
on the
they're
bench
so-
and shit.
Every guy that played football back then looked like he was 70 years old.
Yeah.
Like they look terrible.
I mean, like it was a guy that was probably 32 but looked 60. Was like if he was an offensive lineman, he probably was 5'11", 190. You know, just different times.
I mean, there were some guys that were like big, but there weren't any. Like Myles Garrett could go into that era of football and play every position and be the best at it.
You wouldn't-
He's faster than any
Yeah.
of them. He's stronger than any of them. He knows the game better than any of them. There's other clips where the coach from the Chiefs, I think this is Super Bowl IV, is maybe 4 or 5. It's one of those. And he's just so excited about the plays that he's calling that he's just like, hey, boys, we're going to run a reverse here. Hey, we're going to run a reverse here. We're going to run a reverse. We're going to watch this one. It's going to be a reverse. He's just like telling everybody, and everybody's like, that's the coach. He really knows this. All right, boys, that reverse worked. And like, that was how simple it was back then that you could run a play like a reverse, and it really blew everybody's mind because they weren't just going straight forward.
Yeah. Well, and also you were able to just announce it because there wasn't 18 cameras,
Right.
with 3 of them trained right on your face.
Yeah.
You weren't covering it up with your Denny's menu of a play sheet. You know.
Well, there's also a lot of, I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen the bad lip readings.
Yeah.
They basically did that for some of the stuff because they didn't have microphones on the side of the field. So they looped in audio, and it's really funny because they're trying to say what they were saying, but you can tell it's not the original guy saying it, and they're like, like, oh yeah, we walloped them that time, and it's so awkward and it's so funny.
I can't think of a worse guy to have to be than a dude that played in the 60s or 70s before there was $1 million contracts and stuff where you literally had to get the shit knocked out of you and then you just had to go sell shoes during the week or whatever.
And they're getting $15,000 a year.
But
that was good money for them. Hey, it supplements my income, so I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was you're playing you're playing a kid's game that you like playing.
Yeah.
So it was and you probably were perceived as the hardest guy in the world.
Oh yeah, and then if you've ever heard the stories about the Cowboys in the 70s and all the drugs and sex and all, they were just wild men.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
The 90s Cowboys especially.
90s
when they were
Cowboys
winning all
were
the Super
crazy,
Bowls, they literally bought a house and they called it the White House. Where
That's kind of funny.
No, I mean,
It
if I was a football player,
Right.
I'd be doing the same exact fucking thing.
Yes.
I mean, it was cocaine and cum. It was
the fuck is the point otherwise, man? You're one play away from basically having to eat applesauce from the rest of your life.
right. So
Live it up a little bit.
Live it up. Yeah. But what North Dallas 40, I think, is the book. And I haven't read it, but I've heard excerpts and stuff like that. Maybe we should all read it and talk in depth about the depravity of the 70s Cowboys and what they were doing.
That's when they became America's team, right?
Yeah. Because they won
Makes sense.
They won a few Super Bowls in the 70s, and it was it just was such a different time, and it's so interesting to watch those old games and just see how it developed and how it grew and the spectacle grew, and you see the Vikings fans all dressed up in their Vikings gear and really leaning into that, and then you see the Steelers fans and their dynasty. It's really interesting, and I really appreciate the history and silliness of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's something especially too that to stuff that happened before everything was chronicled via camera phones.
Yeah,
and to see how a lot of people behaved when they thought it was not getting videotaped and shit. So
well, this guy, I'm sure Mason. I wonder if he ever got into the game. I want to know more about him, but there's no way to figure out.
Yeah,
and I it
that,
would be
but that was
amazing.
that was the brilliance of stuff like that, where you just are left to actually have to imagine some shit and think about it. We'll never
take
know.
A blimp.
They talk about, not to turn into a sports podcast, because they talk about Bo Jackson a lot. So Bo Jackson was the first human highlight reel athlete of the 80s or 90s or whatever. But half the shit he ever did, no one ever saw. It wasn't captured on video.
Right.
So it lives on in this weird folklore, Paul Bunyan-esque type way. But it's the same thing. It's it's almost better that way.
Yeah, I was gonna say it kind of has magic to it.
Oh, there's definitely something to it that makes it more, just a little more special because we're not seeing it all the time, and there is just you couldn't believe your eyes type moments.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just really wish that they would really find a way to chronicle more of Taylor Swift's run in the Super Bowl. Really, if they had the technology.
I wish just to piss people off, I hope they just put a Taylor cam, just have it in the corner,
the whole corner,
the whole game, just to make the people that are getting so mad about Taylor Swift are the most sensitive and silliest. This is the one game she was on screen for 45 seconds, and people are losing the whole game, 45 seconds, and they're like, she's ruining football, and it's just or do you just hate
women?
Everything. Women, everything. Yeah.
She's
women,
probably the smartest smartest musician since Madonna.
Yeah.
If you think about it, because
marketing
she clearly knew she would be the story of every Chiefs game she showed up to, and there was a good bet. I'm not even suggesting that her and Travis Kelce's relationship is a psyop or it's made up or whatever, but the fact that she's been the talk of the Super Bowl for the last week.
Yeah.
That's a credit to her and her PR people.
Yeah.
They knew exactly how to play this whole thing.
Well, but it's also how popular she is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they had to play this whole thing out. She just knows if she does something, people are going to pay attention.
Well, I think a bit of that is certainly organic, but I also knowing how it goes. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars of PR money being spent.
Oh, for sure.
Like, if I was the Niners, if I was Kanye West and his people, I would be doing everything in my power to be sitting in the Niners box for
That
the
would be
Super
fucking
Bowl.
funny.
Right next to
my
Taylor's
God.
box.
Because
that's what I would do.
Yeah, like, and also, like, to go back to what we're saying about fanaticism, like, you're not even allowed to not have an opinion about Taylor Swift anymore.
Right.
You're just not. Like, you can't be agnostic to that.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the Super Bowl anymore for years has been about just so much more than just football, right?
Right.
So, like, why wouldn't you have Kanye show up? Why wouldn't you have Creed crash the halftime show? Why wouldn't you just make it the biggest dumpster fire of a cultural celebration that you could?
And that's where we're headed. I mean, after what
Fingers
happened,
crossed.
yeah. After what happened with Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson, 20 years ago now.
Ew, was that 20 years
That was
ago?
21 years ago.
Ew.
Yeah.
No, ew. We're old.
Yeah, man, that titty broke the world
Yeah.
for like a week.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But I mean, it changed.
I had
The
no
repercussions
idea.
from that are still being felt in ways. Like, that was like the first viral moment, like,
Yeah.
where
Mm-hmm.
people were going on the internet to see this thing. Like, there was like the internet, like, the internet existed before that, but that's when the internet started. Like, that's when, like, things were, like, really going up, because within years of that, we had social media and all that stuff, but people were able to get attention by doing that on the internet.
People will get
sharing around.
irate if there's not a train wreck moment that happens at the halftime show. Remember when, you won't remember this, but do you remember when Maroon 5 played?
Yeah.
They had
I mean,
to cancel a whole world tour the next day because it just did not,
Didn't
it didn't
hit.
create,
Yeah.
people made fun of the dude's tattoos for 3 hours and then everyone moved on with their lives.
Yeah. Justin Timberlake's halftime show was a real bummer too. Like, that didn't do anything for
You
him.
can't be any more, and I hate turning into cultural commentary guy, but it's like you have to someone has to like light a cross on fire in the middle of the field and kick a pregnant woman, or like you have to do something that's going to make people lose their fucking minds. Otherwise, people lose their minds because they have nothing to lose their minds
Right.
about.
Like Katy Perry with the left
And if
shark.
that doesn't happen exactly the way I said it, I'm going to be fucking pissed. Sorry.
Kick that baby.
I don't even know what is the Super Bowl? Like, who's the halftime show this year?
Usher.
Usher.
Oh, I loved Usher.
Oh.
I saw him when I was 11.
Oh, where at?
Gundarina, when it was the
Gundarina, yeah.
Gund.
But if it's just Usher and you don't have like some, like, you don't have like Scott Stapp
Fat
parachute
asses in
in and
front of
crash like,
Yeah.
like, just
Yeah, you gotta have some sex
Wait,
appeal. You gotta
Usher,
have.
that's such an interesting. Yeah,
Choice.
I don't get their choices.
I mean,
They had Beyonce one year, right?
yeah, they
And she let like that.
they had
makes sense.
Rihanna last year and she
Right.
was pregnant and
Yeah.
I think she made a splash because she just did. It was very like she was very casual about the thing, which Rihanna fans I think received as like that's what a real bitch does. Like
Right.
Yeah.
she doesn't play like
Yeah.
Yeah.
she doesn't got to play it up.
Yeah,
and then
she
every
just lets it all speak for herself.
every white person goes, "Are you gonna try? Are you even want to be there?" And I was like, that was kind of like the angle that was being played.
Yeah.
What other?
Yeah, I don't know
ones?
that Usher will bring anything exciting.
The Dr. Dre Eminem one was pretty fun, just because
Yeah.
of the nostalgia of all that.
Yeah.
I think I actually missed that one, but I'm sure it was. I think they're playing the Usher thing the way they're playing the Dr. Dre thing,
Yeah.
where like
Nostalgic?
that song,
Well, I mean,
is like
they
what
are-
20 years
Oh,
old
I
at this
guess,
point.
Yeah,
I
they're
think,
all
yeah.
kind of nostalgic at this point. Like, there's not like the only person to do it that's Bruno Mars and like The Weeknd. They kind of did it well. They were at their peak, but usually they'll get somebody that's a legacy act and bring them back, and that's why it's Usher. And I think this is to kind of bring him back to the top, because he's like, we were talking about this on the Alan Cox show when he was at the Robo Fijo a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago. It wasn't sold out at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like not. And so
Well, because he was a massive star like in the 2000s, but his music was always so inoffensive.
well, it's
It
so
wasn't
inoffensive,
like-
but it's also
Yeah.
so features. Like, there's so many features on. Like, it's
Mhm.
Usher and so and so.
Lil Jon,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's like the only song I even know is that Yeah song with Lil Jon. Like,
Also,
I
it's in-
I don't go deep with Usher at all.
It's in Vegas this year,
yeah.
so they have to do something. I feel like over
Really,
the top
yeah.
because it's in Vegas. So you would think Lil Jon would probably show up.
I think
Oh,
so.
I hope that would be cool.
Yeah, Lil Jon will probably be there, and Lil Jon.
Did
you
Kanye
can-
ever do any songs with Usher?
I don't think
or vice
so.
versa?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I liked Usher when I was like younger.
I always thought his head looked so weird.
What?
It's
I
very
always had a
round.
crush on
It's
him.
like it's very like
Peanutty.
peanutty.
He's got big ears too.
And he's got big ears and like then like the very straight across hairline that was like really low. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just always looked
He-
weird.
I always thought he was handsome.
It just was like, yeah, it's not like Dr. Dre where like, there's an edge to it. Or even like they had Prince play one year and
that
Prince
makes
didn't have to
sense.
do a thing other than
Prince was
shred.
incredible.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
That was
makes
like,
sense.
that was the first time
Purple Rain in the Rain, the best.
honest to God, I was like,
Well, they put this with Prince's. They put this big curtain up so like it would cast his shadow up onto the curtain, and then he's playing his guitar like it's a giant dick. Like
Hell
it's
yeah.
he fucking.
no, he didn't, because it's fucking
Yeah,
Prince.
yeah.
Like he just laid waste to everybody because he's Prince. But yeah, other than that, like, and then he covered Foo Fighters, but other than that, if you're going to pick just like a pop act, not that there's no talent in that, you got to do a little more.
Has Taylor done?
No.
No.
Taylor, from what I've heard, is waiting till she re-releases all her stuff as Taylor's version, and then she'll do the halftime show.
Gotcha. Okay.
See, I don't even follow her well enough, but she basically bought the rights to all her music, or she like won the rights back to her
She
music.
couldn't buy all the rights, so she's re-recording it.
Okay.
Is that what that is?
That's what
Okay,
she's doing.
gotcha.
Yeah. So
I
she
saw her a
re-records it
long
and
time
puts it
ago.
out. Yeah. I saw her at the Rock you were there. The Rock Hall inductions the last time they were in Cleveland. Weren't you there with your mom?
Was she playing? Did she play?
She did like one song to bring in. It wasn't her song.
Yes.
She did,
Okay. Yeah.
She
I
did.
remember this.
Who's the lady that she inducted?
Not the Go-Go's.
Not the
No, the
Go-Go's.
Go-Go's was Drew Barrymore.
That was Drew Barrymore. It was Carole King.
Okay.
Yeah. So she did a Carole
I
King
feel
song,
like
and it was great.
She's been massively famous now for what, 15 years?
Long
Taylor Swift.
time,
Yeah.
She
At least.
since then
Yeah.
it's at least doubled, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like she reaches that Beyonce level where like you are not even allowed to have a nuanced opinion about her. You must worship her as the person that invented
Right.
music. I feel like that's where she's at.
And it's so funny because like
Like she's too big to play the Super Bowl, I
it's
feel like.
It's not bad. It's not for me. And so like when I hear it, I go, oh, okay,
Don't
that's
say
fine.
that. Don't
But
you? Don't
it's
say
not
that.
for me, Taylor.
Don't say that
You know it's
publicly,
not for
dude.
me.
I think I wrecked at least one relationship when I just said I don't understand
Oh,
the
really?
big deal. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not like this. I saw her with Miranda back when it was like still country music, and it would have been at whatever the gun was called.
I didn't
at
even
that
know
time.
she used to be a country musician.
Right.
Wait, really?
Quick and
I had no
Loose.
idea.
Are you serious?
What?
I had no idea she used to be a country
Oh
actor.
yeah, that's
Oh, yeah,
like
that's
how
how she
her
started.
roots are in country.
Yeah, like
she
that-
she grew up in eastern Pennsylvania, but then they moved to Nashville and she went country and then crossed over. That was like her first kind of controversial thing was when she crossed over
Switched
to pop,
Yeah.
and that's when she won the award. And Kanye did that whole thing where it's like, "I'm gonna let you finish."
Which that was like honestly 2009, 2008.
something like that. Yeah, it's
That
been
was
a
a
while,
long
man.
fucking time
Yeah.
ago, dude. Yeah, leather shirt, Kanye, bottle of Henny. He was railing Amber Rose at the time. Old dirty bastard to the stage. Yeah, I remember. I mean, but that was like a long time ago.
Yeah. It's been-
I think they need to reignite the beef next Sunday.
That'd be sick.
When are we
but then I just
releasing
got to
this?
hear about Kanye, and I hate. He's so annoying.
He's
No,
annoying,
dude,
but
I-
it's insanely.
His whole thing's so
wild
tired with me
man.
anymore.
But like his entertaining, like I'm not the like because it's like expected.
Yes.
Like,
now
I'm
it's
kind-
almost performative,
Yeah.
like the whole like
Oh,
black
it's
metal
been-
shit.
It's
like,
been exhausting for
yeah.
years with him.
Yeah.
Like since when he did
Yeah.
the MAGA thing, it was like, yeah, I was like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Crazy.
performative is a good
Fucking
way to
nuts,
put it,
dude.
yeah. Ella Mae Weatherwax.
LMAO. is what I thought you were
Yeah,
going
dude, I was like, I was waiting for that.
Ella Mae Weatherwax. I
Ella
love
Mae-
her so much. She's the best.
I hope, man, Mason. I could probably date Mason's granddaughters at this time.
Yeah.
By this time, 50.
Take a blimp.
Mason kind of looked like
Go for
Ted
Blimp
Bundy.
ride.
Oh yeah.
I thought before press play was like a weird MTV '90s comedy video you were about to show us.
No, it's just
Yeah, no, it was a fucking just some pissed off
Yeah.
dude couldn't get in the
well,
Super Bowl.
something's gonna have to be done. What do
I
you want
just-
Ella Mae Weatherwax to do? She's got the tickets, and your name's not on the list. Deal with it, Mason.
Ella Mae Weatherwax is such a Wes Anderson film character name.
Exactly.
Right. Ella Mae. How do you spell that?
What
Ella Mae.
Ellamae?
Oh, Ella Mae. Ella Mae.
Oh, you still thought it was L period M period A period.
I don't know what I thought it was, but
So-
Ella and May now make
So
sense. Two words. I thought it was one word. I'm like Ella Mae, ELEMA.
Lenore Marie Alexandra.
Fuck off.
Ella Mae.
This now makes sense.
I'm very excited.
She was not. She
all
was.
the Ella Mae clips I'm gonna make.
Ella Mae is not vegan.
Tommy
My
doing
grandma's
the-
name was Emma Jean, so I was like thinking it was one word, and I'm like Ella Mae. I don't know what that is, but Ella Mae.
Ella Mae.
Got it.
Mrs. Weatherwax.
Weatherwax. That she's fake. That's not real. That's not a real.
I don't ever
That's
like.
the psyop.
yeah.
Can you imagine arguing with your chick and calling her by her last name only, and as a walk off?
Yeah.
Like,
All right, Weatherwax.
okay, Miller.
Guys, I still want to change my last name.
You still do? Back
What?
to or to something else.
I think I've told you this.
Weatherwax.
Weatherwax. Tommy Weatherwax is like
Yeah.
the sickest
That
name.
is-
Sorry,
no,
go
this
on.
one's sicker. My grandma's maiden name, Ashcraft. That's not the one, but like there's like a maiden name within that in my family. Ice, ICE. Tommy Ice.
Tommy Ice.
Tell me how hard that sounds. Like Brandon Ice could be like he would take my last name too, but
He would have to if
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was Ice.
you guys got to be the Ice.
If there's,
Tommy Ice.
I
Tell
would
me how
say
hard
this:
that is.
Tommy Ice.
if you could
rules.
actually track it in your lineage, then you absolutely should.
Right,
Because you're not a
yes.
rapper, so you
No.
can't just go to Tommy Ice any other way.
No,
I
it's
say,
in my
no
lineage.
matter
Also,
what you do
Ashcraft
this.
is pretty good too.
Ashcraft's kind of hard too, but
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a West Virginia.
Tommy
weird
Ice
hillbilly.
rules.
Tommy
Tommy
Ice
Ice
is
fucking
hard.
rules.
Tommy Ice is like
I'll
a pro
take your last
wrestler
name to be
from.
Billy Ice.
Right?
Tommy Ice is very pro wrestler from 1992, like
Yeah.
first hour of like WCW wrestling.
Speaking of wrestling, this is the month of anniversary of jerking off Jeffrey for wrestling tickets.
Oh.
Ella
Yeah,
Mae
it
to
came
jail
up.
at JLR.
Congratulations.
Hell yeah. We speak your name.
Yeah.
Didn't he like not even really get hard?
Oh, he did not. Yeah.
Oh man,
yeah.
what a loser.
I was the closest, but yeah, he did not.
This was on the air, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Was not expecting to actually touch a penis, but I sure did. I thought it was going
you
to be
jerked
like
a soft dick for wrestling tickets.
Yeah.
not
Second row.
gotta say, probably not the first person to have done that.
Right. No, well,
I'm
clearly
not
Everybody
shaming
else,
her.
yeah.
It just
It's funny,
I
yeah.
can't imagine like the shame that comes with someone giving you a hand job and you not being able to get hard. Like that
He just-
sucks. Poor
yeah,
guy.
I
Like,
mean, it's he clearly.
How good were the seats?
Literally second row of ringside.
No,
like
too
the-
fucking bad, Jeffrey.
What was it? Fastlane.
Should have popped a blue chew or something.
Yeah, right?
No,
Fastlane.
I think we were at that same event
Pants.
before we were friends.
Yeah.
I got a folding chair that was branded for Fastlane,
Same. We
which
sold
I
ours,
took
but yeah.
immediately to Diamond Men's Club and demanded to get a lap dance on.
Did you? Go with the pictures, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
There, not Roman Reigns.
Daniel Bryan.
No, not him, but somebody else. Who's the?
Oh, Brock Lesnar, I think.
No.
I would have to look when I get home.
All right. You still have it.
Sean Rollins?
Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins. I don't
I'm gonna get it wrong.
Who is Seth Rollins with?
The Shield. So he was
Oh.
with Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose.
Dean, I think, might be.
I think
may have
he's
been
on there.
Yeah, I think he was on it. No. Anyways, yeah.
Also,
Neat. Good show.
through no fault of the dancer, not the best lap dance I've ever gotten.
Rude.
Because I weighed like 300 pounds at the time, and it was on a folding chair.
Folding chair. A wrestling folding chair.
Yeah, I was did it for the plot at that point.
Yeah. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
I don't think I ever really did it for any other reason.
Just the plot.
No, I do have a Daniel Bryan branded chair from a different event.
Yeah.
That as a man in his late 30s, walking, I remember I had to walk through a restaurant to get to my car. And as I'm walking through the restaurant, Daniel Bryan himself is literally sitting there eating his dinner.
I'll be
And
honest,
I'm-
that's embarrassing. Like, I would feel embarrassed. Not for, like, if it was me, I would have been so embarrassed. Sorry.
I'm
Go on.
well, first of all, walking around in public as
Take a blimp
man,
ride is what Tommy just said to you.
go for a blimp ride, right? So like, and I had the chair out, so you could clearly see his Daniel Bryan's name. Daniel Bryan is sitting at the table by himself after the event, so he literally just probably got in an Uber and hoofed it over to this place, and he's mowing down. I look at him, he looks at me, and we both agreed that we're just gonna keep moving on with our lives.
See, yep.
Alec,
That's my nightmare. I wouldn't. If I was wearing like a band shirt and I saw somebody in the band, I would zip my jacket up. Like I don't. Like yes, I respect you, but no, I don't know why.
I mean,
it's like a weird feeling.
that's a little different than a chair that dudes pay hundreds of dollars for on eBay. Also around my age, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a special feeling.
Yeah, I mean, a nice one, but like.
I don't know. Well, it was funny. I don't know if it was nice.
I mean, you got to see him, and he got to see
Great.
you.
I mean,
his merch.
I'm at the age now where like I get to hang out with wrestlers, so I wasn't gonna be. Even if I wasn't gonna be starstruck.
I'm not that kind of
I mean,
that person. No, I'm okay. Thank you.
No, I don't. I'm not saying there's people I wouldn't be starstruck by. It's just not going to be that.
Yeah, no.
you know who would be starstruck by? Ella Mae Weatherwax.
Ella Mae.
Mason.
She's probably dead. That was a while
probably,
ago.
Yeah, way to.
R.I.P. Ella Mae.
This one's for you, Ella Mae.
Makes sense. No.
So we're not gonna not title this episode Ella Mae the Letters, right? Good times.
I
Good
think
times.
we're gonna title this one "Take a Blimp Ride,"
Yes. Yeah.
which is the new "fuck off."
Yeah.
Take
a blimp ride, guys.
Take a blimp.
Take a blimp ride.
That's like that's so much work. Like that's like when you tell someone to have a nice life, and you mean like it's not meant to be nice, but I'm like, that's a nice thing to say. Like,
Yeah.
go hop in a blimp and take a grand tour of like the skies, and you probably get to eat cotton candy up there or whatever. I don't know what they serve on
Cotton
blimps.
candy.
I've never
I like
gone.
that you think that blimps have cotton candy.
It's a
Where's
really
my fucking cotton candy?
Blimps are like the unicycles of the sky, where it's just something we don't need to have in 2024. Like it's definitely like the handlebar mustache of aircrafts.
What
For
is
sure.
going on in
Yeah, man. Like it's like a hot air balloon that vapes.
there? It's the zoo of the sky. That's where you get.
I'm not
cotton
saying like, look, I'd still like to go on one.
You would?
It's just a very bizarre means of travel at this point.
I don't know if I want. Is it a means of travel though?
No, it's not really.
No,
like,
it's
Is
like
it
a
advertising?
no one's like, how'd you get here? Oh, I got on a Frontier blimp ride.
Goodyear blimp. It's a Goodyear.
Because
I had
they
those-
also aren't like they're so massive, but what you ride in is actually really
It's
small.
like this. It's half the size of this room,
Yeah.
I think.
Wait,
and then it's
really?
like,
Yeah.
dude, a blimp has to be what, 150 feet long, and it carries maybe
it's just
four
for
people.
yeah, it's just for advertisements. It's
Yeah,
nothing
that would be
practical
fucking-
in any way.
When I get rich,
That's why
I'm
they had to
gonna
do
have a blimp.
Zeppelins.
Mhm.
Zeppelins could carry more, but they had to fill them with
Don't they-
hydrogen, and they'd explode. So
Don't they also move at like 14 miles an hour?
yeah, they're not fast. You can't really steer it all great. Any wind, you're fucked. It's a garbage
I don't want
way to travel.
I want to do it now. Yeah, you know what? Now I take that back. That is rude to tell someone.
Yeah.
I can't wait to tell someone to go for
Well,
a
also, I
blimp
think
ride.
she was kind of calling him an airhead. Like, you can take a blimp ride using your big, stupid, dumb head. Like, kind of
maybe
something like that. But
All right,
whatever.
weather wax.
Yeah, weather wax. He says it with such
Yeah,
contempt.
he put some
Yeah.
some fucking hot sauce on that one.
Yeah.
He's
Oh
one of the
God,
most.
we should go on a hot air balloon ride as a group.
Oh man,
I might cry, but I'll go.
No, dude, that
Yeah.
honestly seems terrifying to me.
it's we did
Like I want to, but I'm scared. When I lived in Rootstown, there's like a hot air balloon place that you can go, and one landed like in my neighbor's yard. So
We had
it
that happen-
terrified. We thought it was a car accident, like outside.
Yeah, we had
Like,
that
ran outside.
happen because there was a hot air balloon place down the road from us,
Mm-hmm.
and they landed in our neighbor yard once. They landed in our yard
Yeah.
once, and it's just like it's
Loud.
Not, it's
Yeah.
not fun. But also one time,
Whew,
They-
scary. Just thinking
like
about
an
it.
award at like for selling whatever we were selling, like wrapping paper at school. One of the rewards was you got to go on a hot air balloon ride. But what they did was they had a hot air balloon come to the school, and the idea was that you're going to go up and then you're going to come back down. And they tied it to a van, and they took a couple kids up, and then it was super windy that day. And instead of like not doing it, they're like, oh, we can't do this. They're like, oh, let's try it. And they go up, and they it lifts the fucking van off the ground. And they're
No
like,
way.
like,
They're that powerful they could lift a 3-ton automobile?
I guess.
What
Like-
the fuck?
Like it wasn't like it didn't come out, but like the whole back of the van like got lifted up. It was fucking insane.
I hope the science
And they're
teacher's
like, yeah,
outside, like just fucking losing his mind. He's like,
Yes,
you see it at
told
work?
you.
You see it at work right now?
I told you not to do this.
I love that. You can go right up and right down.
Yeah.
And if I was like at school, I'd be like, how is that winning anything?
Right. and it's not like you were going up to like this building's taller than you were going up.
Right.
The building that were like it was like going up like 8 stories.
Dude, just being in a wicker basket with like an open
fire?
flame on top of you
insane.
does not like I'm not scared of heights, but man, I think I would be shook having to sit through that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just on the ground watching, and when that van like lifted up, I was like,
I didn't know they
am
were
I
that
gonna watch
powerful.
kids die?
Yeah, I didn't know it was that powerful. That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's also funny.
We did some weird stuff at our school too. We did Pioneer Days where we were like making candles and stuff like that. But we also roasted a turkey.
You've actually inspired my next print I have to make, by the way. I'm just tapping out a reminder of this. So thank you.
I also would like to design a take a blimp ride sticker or shirt or something.
Was it take a blimp ride or go for a blimp ride?
Go for a blimp ride. Let's
I don't know. Look it up. Look it up.
The thing
Consult
real quick.
Very important.
I switched over to Google Calendar and it's fucking wrecking my life right now.
Not used to it.
No, it sucks. Okay, Weatherwax.
Take a blimp ride. Yeah, it's take a blimp ride. Okay, Weatherwax.
Okay, Weatherwax.
I love it.
Okay, Weatherwax is it's a pretty sick name.
Yeah, okay, Weatherwax is pretty funny. That's a good band name.
Okay, Weatherwax.
We are okay, Weatherwax.
I'm okay. It sounds way cooler than okay pants if we're being very honest. I mean, not a lot of things don't, but whatever.
We did so on this Pioneer Day, they like brought a turkey.
Alive?
I don't think it was alive, but it had all its feathers and shit on it. And so we cleaned the turkey. Like, pull all the feathers off. And they go,
Mormons.
What?
I hate Mormons.
This wasn't Mormons. This was a public school.
I don't like it.
This is such a weird thing to do.
I eat turkey and I'm not liking this.
And they go, okay, we got to get the insides out. And they're like, who's got small hands? And I was like, I do. and so I like pulled all the guts out of the turkey. Because I thought like it was crazy to like hear all the girls go, ew, that's so gross. And I was like, not afraid of no turkey guts.
Got a real MVP on our hands
I
here.
never did that, but I did really love doing the owl pellet thing, where it's just like
where you dissect the
puke of the owls, and to put the bones of their
like the
mice
or
together.
whatever.
Yeah, I liked that, but
I never got to do anything other than I had to dissect
Frog?
a worm. Not even as cool as a frog, a worm.
We did frogs.
I can still smell it to this day.
ugh.
We did a baby shark in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Man,
They do that in vet
Medina's,
school too,
yeah.
which is
Hey,
fucked up.
Medina's got some fucking budget for that shit, man.
Right.
Well, that was like when we had to pay for it. Like I did that. Like that was like after school. I was failing biology, but I was like, I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna pay
gonna
to
do
fucking
this.
dissect animals, you goddamn serial killer. What the hell?
My dad would be like, how much do I have to pay for an already dead shark? Nah, take the C and keep moving.
It was
buddy.
like $25 a piece, and I was just like, all right.
This still seems real cheap.
Because it was like 8 kids doing it. So
where do you come out as a teacher? You pick a shark.
it's just because like it was just the largest thing that we could do. I don't know why.
You're not near any oceans.
Oh yeah, it was like they like had to ship it in. Like it was
It
it was a
doesn't make
wild
sense
thing.
to me. I mean, like, and I'm not like, that's the point I get to with animal stuff where I'm just like, I don't know why you would make kids do that.
Yeah.
Like, you could just show them a
Show
video.
a video of that at
Show
that
'em,
point.
right?
Yeah.
I remember because my science teacher, there were people in the class that didn't want to do it for probably at the time ethical reasons, and also they just probably were grossed out. So if you just declined, you would automatically get a C.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I was kind of like, I don't know, it seems to not have to do the work on top of it being gross sounds good to me.
Right, yeah.
I went ahead and did it just because I was a pushover, but I don't know what I learned, really, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't really know what you would learn either.
I didn't learn anything.
Yeah.
I'm dumb as fuck.
Did you get to make out with any girls because of it?
Nah, I don't think so.
I mean, your intention wasn't that. It was just to gross people out.
It wasn't even like at that point I was in high school. I just thought it was interesting that we could do it.
Oh, okay.
So I was just.
I thought you were just doing it to be a wacky guy.
No, not that. And I think I was doing it to try and like finally pass biology. I was so bad in school. I was like, it was just such a waste of everybody's time.
Yeah, I mean,
they should have been like, just get out of here.
High school is is definitely like the dividing line between people that are going to be good students and people that just are going to be good at other shit in life.
Yeah.
Like it's like, yeah, I guess like learning the same way isn't for everybody.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
that's the thing is all these teachers would be like, Bill, I know you're not dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you doing this stuff? And I'd just be like, I don't care. And they're like, well, what do you want to do with your life? And I was like, I don't know. I don't care. I don't want to do any of this stuff. Like I wanted to be like I mean, comedy was always in the back of my head, but I didn't say it out loud to anybody. So I just was just like, whatever. I'll figure it out. It's not that concerning to me.
So years later, I'm sure all your teachers were like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. If they even remember me, I don't know. I don't even remember more than like 2 or 3 of my teachers' names. When people have that relationship with their teachers and they're like, oh, they inspired me and blah blah blah, nothing like that. It was always just like, we both have to be here. We're not friends. Whatever. I'm gonna try and make everybody laugh. That's all I'm gonna. That's why I'm here.
So it's like prison approach, basically.
Basically, yeah. And I'm just gonna try and make everybody laugh, and I'm not like trying to be cool or anything like that. That's the only way I can stay engaged with anything you're doing. Otherwise, I fall asleep.
Yeah. No, I was above average student like in grade school, and then when you got to like actual learning and actually being like intellectual, I was like, what?
Yeah, that's kind of how I was.
I was like I don't know, I'm drawing
everything
pictures
until
back
5th
here.
grade was like no problem. Figured it out real fast, and then when we start having to do homework and develop study habits and stuff like that, I was like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Nope.
If you can't teach it to me in the class, then I ain't learning it. All right, that's my time. This is your time. You got 45 minutes or whatever a class period was. If you can get it in, then also I'm not going to be paying attention anyway. So good luck.
Yeah, looking back, I think I just didn't realize because I was like I was a well-behaved student. Like I always showed up to class on time, yada yada. But I didn't realize at the time just how many kids really had it figured out where like they just wouldn't come to class. And I was like, I just didn't know. I was like looking back, I go, oh, they fucking were just running the clock out, and they went on to actually make money doing something. It just wasn't.
Yeah.
They just like were having a way better time than I was.
Literally me like that, and that's one of the things that my parents. They're like, oh, he's gonna do something, but we don't know what, because there's no course for the direction that my life took. Even when I finally started doing comedy, they saw how determined I was. They're like, oh, so he is driven in certain things, but can you be driven in something that makes you money? And I'm like, this will eventually, but right now this is all I want to do. And it was very hard for people to understand that I just wanted to be able to do what I wanted to do. And I didn't want to hedge my bets. I didn't want to have a backup plan or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I can relate to that exactly, except I always had like the art thing, which they could at least teach in school.
Right.
So that got me off the hook with a lot of people, and people left me. Both teachers and students would just leave me alone because like, well, he'll figure it out.
Well, and that was the thing too. They're like, oh, you like writing and you want to learn this stuff. Why don't you go to college for that? And I was so far behind that I was going to spend my first 2-3 years in college just catching up on all the classes I was like, no, you already wasted 2 years of my life by sending me to the Philippines. I'm just going to go and start writing jokes and figuring this shit out. And there were definitely hard times, but I was so much happier. I was so much more fulfilled by the course that I went than trying to sit in a classroom and just be miserable and try and check boxes for people.
Yeah.
No, I was a people pleaser. I checked boxes.
I was always good in school, but never had any like ambition, like a specific goal.
Right.
Like started community college just because I enjoyed school and stuff like that. But then I'm like, I'm not wasting money to learn things when I don't know what the fuck I want to do.
When you don't know what you want to
right,
learn.
Yeah. I'm like, I'll learn all the things, but
and like going back to being like a people pleaser, like I was a people pleaser for so much. Like I always did the stuff that my parents needed me to do, like whatever, and a lot of it was church related. So like I checked those boxes, but then once I broke those chains and finally started on that path to being myself, it was people didn't recognize me, and that's why I don't have a lot of close connections to people from my life before I started comedy, because I really wasn't myself. And so now that I have figured that out, people will be around me and they'll be like, oh, I didn't know you at all. I'm like, I didn't know me at all. Like I had no idea what my personality really was, other than I just like to make people laugh. And then everything else was just kind of trying to make everybody else around me happy.
I mean, you and I know people our age that haven't found themselves yet. It's like it's a scary thought.
Well, that's one of those things when people come at me online and they're like, you know, because I have a lot of stuff that's about being Mormon and picking apart religion in a certain way, and they get so offended by it. And I'm like, oh, so you haven't actually stepped outside of this to actually examine it. You just were told this thing and you believe it, and that's that. And that is just insane to me.
But that's the pull
There's a comfort to it.
has.
Yeah, but and people find that comforting, but it was never comforting to me.
Think about, I mean, like
all
it's
that
just
stuff.
What people are indoctrinated into and stuff. And then, you know, I watch a lot of cult documentaries. It's like it's not hard to understand just how some people end up, you know, I don't know how to not spiral this into like a Heaven's Gate thing, but it's
well, and that's
I don't want to come off like I'm so much more enlightened than everybody else, but it is like it's right there to just sort of break out of what a question, ask one question once outside of what you're thinking.
And question that answer once when they go, oh, this is, and be like, well, wait,
why?
You're saying I'm just supposed to believe this? It's a test. This is all like that. Never sat right with me. And then also, if we really believe this stuff, we would not be doing anything to jeopardize this salvation that we're seeking. And that's what didn't make sense to me, was there's so many ways to mess up and so many ways to not be like a good Christian, good Mormon and stuff like that. And everybody just kind of is just like, but it's not that serious. So I'm like, oh, and that's when it clicked for me. I was like, oh, people only kind of believe this. It's not like I was taking it serious, and I thought I was just going to go to hell. And then when I realized that a lot of people just, you know, they're not actually good people. They're not trying to be Christ-like. They're half-assed. They like the superiority complex that they get from it, where they can feel like they can look down on other people, and that's what motivates them to stay in religion more than anything else, because that's something that they kept harping on, is that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the one true church. So when you keep being told that, it makes you feel like, oh, I've got this thing that other people don't have, and it's special, and that's why it's okay.
One.
Yeah.
The
and then you go, oh, that is just a complete manipulation.
Yeah.
See, I found like a different community to make myself feel superior to others through my choices and my beliefs, and that was called hardcore music.
I mean, at least it's more pure, like, and the intentions are at least more direct and not quite as manipulative.
I just was trying to get one joke about hardcore.
But that's how I feel about comedy. I'm like, and when you hear comedians talking about comedy with each other, and they'll call other people civilians, and I'm like, guys, we are not.
Oh, no.
They're not in the service.
They don't know what it's like out there.
We're not in the trenches. Like all we do is just, we're not afraid of public speaking. That's all. And honestly,
that is pretty fucking insane.
Right.
That you're not
I mean,
afraid.
I've heard, I never really
Just
thought too hard about
straight
that,
narcissism,
but
though.
it is funny.
Millions.
Yeah.
Damn.
Those folks out there that never been down in the shit,
Yeah.
having to come up with 15 minutes, and there's a bachelorette party walking in.
Well, that's what when people give me pointers, or like they're enjoying my stuff, but they're like, oh, you should add this. Like I have to check myself and be like, they're trying to be nice, and
It's
they
a
do well, and it's
well-meaning
good,
place
and
it
like,
comes from.
and they're like, they're trying to spitball with me, and like I take that as like, you think I didn't do enough, like you don't think I didn't think of that, or some shit like that. And also,
I would do that.
A lot of the stuff they think of sucks.
I think my jadedness would probably not receive that well, because I
Right.
get people that will try to send me
Design
like,
stuff, yeah.
you know what you should do, and I go, if you're not paying me, I don't want to fucking hear.
Right.
I don't want to hear it. And you know what? People that pay me, I'm not really listening to a lot of what they're saying most of the time.
Well, and a lot of the times what they're trying to tell me is something that's just already implied without having to say it, because they don't understand subtext or nuance to things. And just like, yeah, that's all in there already. And also you have to watch, like, if you're going to give me advice on something, watch the entire set.
Right.
Don't watch a 15-second or 1 minute clip and be like, I have this all figured out for you. Like it's
But like, and this isn't your fault. There's
nothing's my fault. I told you I'm a narcissist.
Yes. What civilians are trying to say, like, there's like,
Thank you.
I think a lot of people just don't really understand that there's a life that exists out of that 30-second clip you post. Honestly,
I know.
Like, it's like when people listen to a podcast and they'll pick, like, if I literally decided to talk about Nazis right now, they would pick out just that one clip of the podcast and judge everything on that thing.
And what do you want to say about Nazis?
Well, we don't really look at like oh, it's a black and white thing with these guys all the time. No, but it's for me. I don't know if, for a lot of reasons, I don't know if I could be a working comedian because I would have to get off Twitter. I could not deal with people trying to punch up my jokes on Twitter or on any. So I know you're not on Twitter, but
I don't really fuck on
like any
Twitter,
social media.
But,
it would.
But I get a lot of stuff
on
YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that where people are giving their input, and you just gotta go, I'm not gonna worry about it. And that's like one of the things where when I'm talking about a subject like religion, like I had the joke about baptism, and people are like, they're saying that I'm not funny because of how I'm attacking the subject, and they're not watching the entire clip, and also like not understanding that I'm allowed to poke holes in this dumb thing where you're saying this is the time when someone becomes a member of your church at 8 years old. Like nobody's becoming a member of the army at 8 years old. You know, it's a fucking wildly young age.
Also, I can't
to say like now you're in this.
I can't think of anything less fun and more against the point. Like, I would never want to have serious discussions dissecting my humor with people.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's terrible, but it's also funny to just see how people are proving my point by trying to say that I'm wrong. Like another person said, there's a girl, like, in her video, she's showing like, I'm being modest, and so she's like showing her like different outfits. I'm like, well, modesty isn't just tied to how you dress, it's tied to your like being narcissist or being behaviors and things like that. So just making a video promoting yourself is not modest.
Right.
And like that's what people don't understand. That's one of the things that makes me crazy about Christian culture right now, where they're just like trying to use that superiority complex and be like, oh, I'm being modest, so I'm being godly. But just by making that video, you're missing the point of a lot of things that they taught. Also, what I said was, if you're really trying to be modest, your face would be covered. Like, because that's in the Bible somewhere, and someone's like, where's it in the Bible? And I just go, it's in there. And he's like, and then he's just like going back and forth with me. I'm like, and then I gave him like something, and because I read all this shit, I fucking studied it, I taught it, I know this shit. And then his retort was something like, oh, that's when you're in church or blah blah blah. I'm like, but that's the whole point of this thing, is that everybody manipulates what's in that book to try and make it fit whatever narrative they want. So take a blimp ride.
Take a blimp ride.
Way to land that one, buddy.
Take a blimp ride to heaven.
Way to Blimp Ride to Heaven better be the fucking name of your next special.
All right. I think
I don't know if you, I don't
an
know.
hour and a half, almost an hour and a half.
Yeah. I just don't think there's any better way to stick the landing on that one.
All right.
So.
That was it.
Well, thank you guys for checking out this week's episode of the Bill Squire Show. Tommy, what do you got?
Tommy LC, OnlyFans, loyal fans too. I just made an account there.
Okay.
So we shall see.
They better.
There's
be
a free
loyal.
account or free options like to follow.
Oh, loyal, huh?
Loyal fans. Yeah.
When is this airing?
Today.
Oh, cool. Saturday, we're doing a February special event at Old 86. We'll have pizza and drink specials and DJ Alan Klump.
Nice.
So come on down February 10th. I believe it's a Saturday.
Yeah, that's a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anyways, OK Pants on all socials.
Yep. I got a bunch of shows at BillSquire.com. Watch my stand-up videos too, and interact with our social medias, and comment and like and share, and that's all. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.